Hi everybody, my name's Yumi Stynes, welcoming you to Art After Hours online. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. The Art Gallery of New South Wales sits on some beautiful land on Eora Nation territory. Now, you've joined us for Art After Hours Online, which is our weekly talk series where we're joined by people like celebrities or authors, thinkers and artists themselves, where we use what is currently being exhibited in the art gallery as inspiration to maybe unpack some of the practices behind our own artworks or ways that people like you and I can understand other artists' artworks and their practices. This is the very last Art After Hours for 2020 and we're going out on a high. What we as a team behind Art After Hours have learned during this pandemic is that access to art is really important, and we've learned as a team what we can do to increase access during times like these. Now, speaking of access, it's such an important word when we talk about disability, and today we're celebrating International Day of People with Disability. I'll be joined by two artists from Studio A. Studio A is a supported studio based in Sydney that tackles the barriers that artists living with intellectual disability face in accessing things like conventional education, professional development pathways, and opportunities needed to be successful and renowned visual artists. Gabrielle Mordy is director of Studio A. Gabby, what is Studio A?
Studio A is first and foremost a visual arts company, and we exist to produce high quality art. We are known as a supported studio. A supported studio provides professional development to artists with intellectual disability or neurodiverse artists. We're the only studio of our kind in New South Wales, but we're modelled on studios in places like New York, London, Melbourne, and what we work to do is to ensure that Australia's cultural life involves diverse artists and diverse voices, and ensuring that artists with intellectual disability have the support they need to be involved in Australia's contemporary culture and to practice as professional artists.
Jaycee Kim is one of the Studio A artists who works predominantly in watercolour and acrylic, and had his first presentation of work in the group show Mobile Colour at Cement Fondue just this year. Thanks for talking to us today. Jaycee, tell us about being in Studio A.
Well, the first time I've been there, it was really, honestly, a little nerve-wracking, but yet very exciting, since I'm looking forward to larger opportunities compared to the past.
And speaking of larger opportunities, there's a very large Jaycee right behind you.
Oh yeah.
So when I look at that, I can see there's a plait of hair. Can you explain what's going on with that?
Okay, so I'm interested in making colourful artworks and special creative characters.
And what does the plait, the colourful rainbow plait, mean?
Oh, it means all the representation of the colors. And since I was a kindergarten, I started liking making the colors of the rainbow by coloring them in.
And did you wear that plait on public transport?
Yes. Yeah. And just to show everybody my favorites. 2020
has been a pretty tricky year for everybody. What was it like for you having to spend all that extra time at home because of the virus?
Well, ever since the pandemic has happened, Studio and I have been using computers for an online session with Zoom to create an interesting interactive digital art and animations.
Did you miss being able to see people in real life?
Yeah, and this And ever since that happened all of a sudden, it makes me think about how am I able to continue my art career without going out there in person? Well, I just decided to come up with my exciting idea of just developing amazing digital art and animations using programs on the computer. And I realized it looks so much fun using special colorful effects rather than just hand coloring.
I saw the chessboard that you made. Can you explain that? How does it work?
Oh, okay. So firstly, it was once again made from one of the yet another different computer programs that helps me do 3D modeling. So firstly, I draw a concept on a piece of paper just to get me ideas from the start. And then I started to design them in 3D. And somehow once I'm finished with all the different models, I'm now imported over to the 3D printer, so then I could see how it looks when they're fully printed. So they're both in like black and white plastic colors. So just to represent like for two players.
Another artwork that you've done is wallpaper, and if you hold your phone over it, you can get an augmented reality reaction.
Yeah.
Out of it comes different versions of you.
Yes.
Well, talk us through some of those versions of Jaycee.
Oh, it was like done when I just have several costumes at home, and it creates many variety of characters of me.
One is Jaycee in a Loretto school uniform.
Maybe. And sometimes as a pirate, a football player, etc.
Getting through the pandemic, particularly lockdown, for a lot of people it was like a dip in the way we achieve things, a dip in our social lives, a dip in our joy. This artwork, which is called Love, Owls and Mermaids Singing in the Rainbow Pop, is meant to be talking about how we felt better, or people that supported us through that rough time, that dip. Tell us about your person.
All right, so as you can see on this wall, on the left side is a portrait of me as a man in real life. And on the other side is like I created myself as an interesting woman character in my imaginary world.
That's this one here?
No, it's obviously a self-portrait of Benji Ra.
Yes.
Because suddenly the studio actually gave me an idea, because thinking that my style of art can represent Benji Ra's interests.
So you were sort of teamed up because you thought there was an idea or a suggestion that your artwork practices might have alignment or similarities.
Yeah, somewhat any of those meanings.
Yeah, and did you find there was some sparks and some interest between you and Benji where you could find mutual inspiration?
Yeah, because since we sometimes like making ourselves into whatever character we like to show.
Yes, someone a bit fabulous.
Yeah, and somehow we both do have similar interests. That's why I just decided to paint the self-portrait of Benji Ra right next to me.
Yeah, nice. What was it like working in such a big scale?
Well, it was like me painting the biggest piece of art ever in my whole entire life. I've never made any artworks larger than this.
Was it scary?
Well, honestly, a little bit nervous, but yet very exciting.
What did your family think?
They think it's really, really amazing and shocking when they realize how big it is.
Yeah, you do feel good when you see it. Was it tricky to work with the other artists and make make all the different artworks fit together on the wall?
A little bit, but we managed that well.
Do you think you learnt new skills from this commission?
Yeah, obviously, like trying to experience how to be safe on a scissor lift, for example.
Tell me about your future. What else will you be doing?
Right now, currently, since back from January this year, I've been studying in Diploma of Graphic Design for this whole year. And as you notice, this year has been extremely busy for me since I've been studying at TAFE and keeping my artworks safe at Studio A. So I really wanted to finish the course at TAFE, which will happen by next week. But I believe that after achieving, I believe that it helps me gain more new skills for my future artworks.
I can't wait to see what you do next. Have you got a show planned or anything?
Well, no, because once again, due to pandemic, over at TAFE, they could not create a night event. They couldn't, sadly. But I don't mind because I just wanted to have plenty of sleep afterwards. I just want a lot of rest in the end.
Jaycee, you're speaking for all of us when you say that. Jaycee, what does it mean to have your artwork in the Art Gallery of New South Wales?
Well, I must say that having my face on the wall in this gallery makes me feel like I'm really famous around this whole particular area. But that's not all. Since I have Benji right next to me, it makes her famous around this area too.
Do you sort of want to say?
I would say that's me on the wall.
Jaycee, do you have any words of wisdom or inspiration for your audience that sees your artworks?
Oh yeah, so I can say that I feel lucky that I get to paint the mural right here at Art Gallery of New South Wales. And I would really appreciate Gabrielle and the other Studio A staff for supporting me throughout these days in the past.
One of the things I love about your artwork here in the art gallery, but also the other stuff that I've seen, is how you just express your own versions of yourself quite joyfully and quite openly. Do you want people to take something from that?
Yeah, maybe sometimes. Yeah, because obviously like my idea was like many colors of the rainbow, like what it looks like on my plate. It was meant to give happiness to a lot of people because there's many bright colors on the rainbow. Just like when I see a piece of rainbow somewhere in public, it always makes me draw attention to it to make me feel happy all the time.
Tell us what it meant to Studio A to get this commission to be in the Art Gallery of New South Wales.
So as a founder of Studio A and working with the artists that I work with for over a decade now, one of the greatest obstacles that Studio A face and one of the challenges that we're constantly working to overcome is stereotypes and perceptions about artists with intellectual disability. So there's often a perception that we're an art therapy studio and that we are a recreational studio and that you might support us because it's a really nice thing to do, not because we're going to create high quality work. So myself, I'm trained as a visual artist. I'm trained as an anthropologist and visual artist. The staff at Studio A are all visual artists, and we operate because we think that the art that the artists make is high quality. So having the Art Gallery of New South Wales, having an institution of this calibre recognise the quality of these artists' work and commission it in this way, this speaks more loudly than anything about the quality and calibre of work being produced by this cohort of artists. So a number of years ago, I undertook a Churchill Fellowship and I looked at the UK in particular and the USA and why it is that neurodiverse artists, particularly in the USA, are more actively involved in their mainstream arts culture. And it was pivotal moments such as when MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, collected work from neurodiverse artists. So that step, that created these ripples of change in the broader culture that, I guess that legitimacy that MoMA gave to those artists and their professional practice. And so it's that kind of milestone moment that I see happening now with the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and those ripples of change that I predict that this kind of work is going to create in Australia's cultural life.
Wow, I just got goosebumps. That's incredible. And what have you seen, what have you witnessed as far as the artists themselves experiencing their works on this epic scale in such an institution as this?
It's just their sense of self and their sense of confidence. And I remember the first day that we came to test the scissor lifts and their nervousness, and it was difficult to have any of the artists even step into the scissor lift. And then the next thing, we have Meagan here high up on the wall blowing kisses to audience members of the Art Gallery of New South Wales. So Meagan keeps showing me her membership card at the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and they have a real sense of belonging here, and a sense, you know, Meagan met Ramesh, and Meagan loved having selfies taken with Ramesh. And you could see, I've seen the artists really identifying with other contemporary practitioners here and standing alongside them and feeling a real sense of, yes, this is where we belong.
Gabrielle, I understand that the 7 artists from Studio A have their own separate and quite individual art practices. Tell me about bringing them all together to collaborate.
I think another big success of this work is that it's the collaboration of 7 artists' work who each have a very distinct voice. And that's actually a very complex thing to do, to bring together the visual aesthetic of 7 very different styles and to make a cohesive work, and particularly to make a cohesive work in quite a difficult architectural space. And so I think that's another real achievement of the Studio A artists, that we were able to bring this together and make a polyphonic work that sings in harmony, yet honours each unique voice of each artist involved.
Meagan Pelham has an established practice in painting, drawing and performance, and has exhibited widely at Casula Powerhouse, SCA Galleries and Art Bank, and has undertaken major collaborations with places like Red Room Poetry, Cicada Press at UNSW, and the Australian fashion label Romance Was Born. You're known as the resident romantic at Studio A, and you do a lot of drawings of owls. Can you tell us, Meagan, what the owls mean?
Owls is my favourite thing, because I draw lots of owls. Owls is love, about, romantic.
How long have you been drawing owls?
That's a good question. Well, long time, 6 years. I draw lots of owls.
How does it make you feel when you draw an owl?
Happy.
Yeah, so happy. Why are you called the resident romantic?
Because I like romance. I like being in love.
Are you in love at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky. I want to know, did the virus affect your ability to work?
Yes, it is.
What happened?
Stick home.
You were stuck at home?
Yeah. And I like flowers. They make me nervous and they make me cry a lot. That's like for them.
I'm glad you say that, because I think a lot of us have gone so far past that we forgot how awful it was when we were in it, crying, feeling so scared. Were you scared?
Yeah. I'm a bit emotional, cry a lot. Yeah. I get funny feelings myself, but I'm not like it.
You live with your mum?
Yes.
And I visited your studio. The feeling I got from that visit was that you are very hardworking. Did you have to switch over to working at home, and was that okay?
Yes, I'll be home. Drawing from home. This is easy. I'm happy being an artist from home.
Tell me about living with your mum. Is it all fairly tranquil?
Yes.
Yeah?
It's easy.
Oh, she sounds great. You did a portrait of your mum for the mural. Why did you want to paint your mum?
Because her wonderful mum.
I understand you lost your father.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I left all my relatives or my dad's family. Yeah, my dad's parents gone, so yeah, really hard woman.
You were close?
Yeah, I'm a dog bunny once, yeah. Yeah, think about my artwork that me and my mum.
I think from when I lost my dad, it made me really want to hold on close to my mum.
So,
Did that happen with you?
yeah,
Yeah. You kind of really understand what they mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
He helped me draw my hours, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he make me happy, see it.
So this had to be pointed out to me, Meagan, forgive me, but I didn't realise that the huge owls that are almost beyond the scope of a human's comprehension, they're yours as well.
Yes.
How did you paint them so big?
Good question. I love paintings,
Yep.
owls. I love my work a lot. Yeah, I like love. Yeah.
So tell me what on earth were you using to get the brush strokes that big?
Well, it is easy. Paint it.
So you stood on the scissor lift.
Yeah, this.
Were you nervous to get on it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun.
Yeah. Did you get used to it after a while?
Yeah.
I heard that you were here every single day for the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you sort of overseeing the whole project?
Yeah.
So the idea of this particular mural is to try to draw what helped you sort of get through the trouble of 2020. Can you, what's your feeling when you see it?
My feeling is love, passion, romance, seeking my owls a lot.
One of the things that you did in your practice at home was send letters to people.
Yes, I did. I write love letters, find love.
I'm so intrigued by this. So how did you know to write to these people? Did they ask you?
Yeah. Write them back. To love. My name's Meagan. I like love. People want love. Making love. Love, love, love.
And what sort of things did you put in the letters?
Envelope.
Yeah.
And send it to them. Find people find love.
I noticed you love wearing wedding dresses.
Oh yeah, wedding dress, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you love wearing?
Because I love weddings a lot. That's my favourite thing all my life.
Are you getting married?
One day I will
day?
get married.
I saw your performance, Bird Fox Monster at Carriage Works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you were dancing in a wedding dress?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love dancing to the table.
I thought that was super, super cool.
Yeah.
Had a rough time during the pandemic, especially lockdown, which was really tricky. Your mum supported you. Then you got this commission to do a huge mural at the Art Gallery of New South Wales. What did that feel like?
Feel like it's good, happiness, life. I love being an artist, future. Get lots of jobs.
Did it feel different when you came in here and looked at the space and went, are we really working on this wall here?
Yeah. I love this place. It's really great.
It's so great.
It's my favourite place in the whole world.
Do you think after this you're going to do a lot more?
Yes.
What are your plans, Meagan?
My plan is being an artist. I do more hours, like different kind of birds.
So Meagan, what have you got coming up next?
My project I'm doing Bottom's Day. Romance are born.
So you're teaming up with Romance Was Born?
Yes. Making coat bags.
Oh, I've seen some of your designs for those.
Yeah.
I've also seen on the studio a website you sell your artworks. Do you like selling artwork?
Yes, I do. I like to sell it.
Yeah.
Got to be paid.
Yeah.
Money.
Are you saving for something, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes.
What are you saving for?
I'm saving for my holiday trip. Terrible.
Terrigal's beautiful. I want to know about your Valentine's Day project.
I like lots of love. might get business cards with a laugh heart around.
You're doing some fabric design
Yeah, I
collabs?
am. My poetry.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. Your poetry is going to be on fabric.
Yeah.
And then what a Romance Was Born going to do with that?
Making the fabric with a clothes with my poetry, with my love L.
So Meagan, what do you want people to get from your artwork?
Look at my art because I
Do you want them to
be happy, take photos for my artwork.
and how do you want them to feel?
Love. Think about love.
Have you got any advice for any artists who might be watching this?
Yeah. Work hard. Be more drawing. Be more time for my writings. Yeah, I'm gonna be a writer.
Can you just remind us, like, put yourself back when it was happening? What was it like when you found out that you were going to be in the art gallery?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I love being in the art gallery. My favourite thing in all my life, all my future. Yeah, hi famous people. Take a photo. Welcome. I like being artist with disability. You guys are amazing. I really help you guys be an artist. I teach you my hours. Yeah, you are my life with you guys. I love you. You're coming on my birthday. Welcome. Mwah. Love you, supermodel.
Yay! Gabrielle, tell me about getting 7 artists to work together.
So the first thing that we did at Studio A when the art gallery invited us to do this work is we responded to the theme that they wanted the artists to work to, which was the theme of togetherness, who the artists have been together with during 2020. We invited the Studio A artists to draft sketches, draw, write, respond to, illustrate who they've been together with. And it was 7 artists' works that we ended up selecting and composing together. And what was really exciting to me was to see how many artists just organically drew like-minded contemporary art practitioners. And that's really what Studio A is all about, connecting our artists with mentors, collaborators, just their colleagues really in the art world who for so long neurodiverse artists have been isolated from. So we have Lauren Kurjan, a Studio A artist who drew Joanna Featherstone, a contemporary poet. Of course, we have Jaycee, who put himself alongside Benji Ra, and we have Emily Crockford, who's standing beside Rosie Deacon. And then some of the artists connected much more with the metaphysical world. So Annette Golston drew her guardian angel, and Catherine McGuinness drew The Little Mermaid. So it's beautiful to see how the world of fantasy, such as The Little Mermaid, and the metaphysical world are so enriching our artists' lives. And of course, Matthew Calandra, he wrote a beautiful poem and drew his French house guest Miriam and his pet rooster Henry. The work itself, being on this wall, speaks about the prominent place now that neurodiverse artists have in the contemporary art world, but also the collective of artists who feature throughout this wall also talk about the rich professional relationships and personal relationships that the artists have developed.
Well, it feels good to be standing up in front of it, doesn't it? It's so epic. Thank you so much for joining us, Gab, Director of Studio A, and 2 of the artists, Meagan Pelham and Jaycee Kim. Great work today.
Thank you so much.
Is this how you supermodel pose? Yes. If you want to see any more of these amazing artists' work, look for Studio A's Facebook and Instagram, and also follow the hashtags Meagan Pelham and Jaycee Kim. This art gallery is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. To see any of the artworks in Archie Plus, you don't need a ticket, you can just walk in, and same goes for the Pat Larder exhibitions, but you will need to pre-book and get tickets to see the Archibald Wynne and Sulman prizes and the Arthur Streeton exhibitions. If you want details before you set out, check out the website. It's very comprehensive. Art After Hours Online is supported by Macquarie University and Art Gallery Society of New South Wales. And if you missed any of the talks over the past 12 weeks, I'm in a few of them, and I'd love it if you caught up on them. You can watch them at your leisure from the gallery's website, Facebook or YouTube channels. My name's Yumi Stynes. Thanks heaps for keeping me company.